Hi, and welcome to episode 56 of the Noble Character Crafts podcast. My name is Amy, and I am coming to you from eastern Nebraska, where I live on a farm with my husband and our 5 children. Today is Friday, March 1st, 2019. This is a podcast all about my crafty life, and today I have knitting and hand-dyed yarn to share with you all. A huge welcome to any new or returning viewers. I hope that you enjoy this episode, and thank you so much for joining me. You can find me online on Instagram and Etsy at Noble Character Crafts. You can find me on Ravelry at Noble Character. And I also have a group for this podcast in Ravelry under Noble Character Crafts Podcast. In that group, you will be able to find the show notes for this episode as well as previous episodes and several other chatter threads. You can also get in contact with me through my email at noblecharactercrafts@yahoo.com. And I will have links to all of the places that you can find me in the description box below. So I have a finished object to share with you all again this week. I was able to finish the sparkling cider hat that I made. This is a beautiful design by Kristen Lair of Woolenvine. And I am very thrilled with how this turned out. This was the first time that I ever used mohair. And it was also the first time that I ever did any beading with my knitting. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I used my own hand-dyed yarn, Noble Character Crafts yarn, on my gentle base, which is 100% non-superwash merino wool in the Refreshes colorway. And then I held a strand of lace weight mohair along with it that was also dyed in the Refreshes colorway. I am not currently selling mohair in my shop, but I may in the future. I really enjoyed working with it. I love the feel of the finished product. It doesn't seem to bother me. So I would really like to knit with mohair again in the future, and I may very well start carrying mohair in my shop in the future, but of course I'll be sure to announce that here whenever I do, if and when I ever do start offering that in my Etsy shop. But it was really well, I wouldn't say it was an easy knit, this project, because it did involve a few, the beading was a new learning thing for me, a new thing that I needed to learn, and it did slow the knitting process down a little bit to add the beads in, but I just think they are so beautiful, and I'm just really happy with how they, just the neat addition that they add to it is so effective, I think. These are just beads that I picked up at Walmart. Let me go get the case that they came in. Okay, they came in this tube. They're a Cousin brand DIY, it says on the bottle, glass e-beads. And they are, well, this top broke, and so I had to put them into this was a David's Tea container, but you can just see the different colors there. They're quite iridescent, and they are in turquoise, green, purple, and blue colors. So they really, I thought, were pretty and worked well with the colors in the hat. And yeah, it came with, I've been using, I did not buy these new just for this project. I have had these in my stash for quite a while because I use them when I'm making progress keepers to add onto the yarn that I sell. And anyway, there was obviously still plenty of these left over after making this project. So anyway, it is knit from the bottom up. So you start with 1x1 ribbing. I used a US size 2, which is a 2.75 millimeter needle for the ribbing. Did that for 2 inches, and then switched up to a US size 4 3.5 millimeter needle for the main body of the hat. And there's a little bit of cable work in there. And yeah, I followed the pattern as the original pattern. There is an option to add additional repeats to the hat to make it more of a slouchy fit, but I did not add those. I just did the regular repeats for the hat. And I really like the way that it fits. So since I have bangs, it's always kind of you have to decide whether you want to wear it with your bangs out or in. But I like it both ways, really. So it has a nice fit if I wear it back on my head a little bit like this. It is really warm with the mohair. And then also I can just kind of tuck my bangs in and wear it down like this, which is a little bit more comfortable actually. You know, I don't have to, I feel a little bit like I don't have to mess with it as much when I have it down like this, and it's a little warmer, I suppose, like this as well. So anyway, I just really am happy with it. I think that I love the color of it, and yeah, I'm just super excited to have made this project. It is the 4th item from my Make 9 list that I have finished. So I'm on a roll with that, and I'm continuing with that. As you will see with my works in progress, I am just continuing to work through my Make 9 list, and I'm so happy about that. I'm just really loving working through that list. Last year I think I only made 2 things off my Make 9 list, and this year I'm just rolling right through that list and staying focused on what I had planned. So anyway, it's working for me this year, and I'm really enjoying it. So anyway, I think that's all I have to say about this. It was an enjoyable knit, and I highly recommend the pattern. I forgot to mention, today I am wearing my Birdie Fair Isle cardigan. Is that what it's called? I don't remember exactly. I didn't make it that long ago, but I know it is a design by Hannah Fettig, and I'm very happy with it. I made it using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, and it's held up really well. I have also made a cardigan using Knit Picks palette, which I was not happy with the wear of it. The palette yarn pilled so easily on that cardigan that I made, and so I was afraid that the Wool of the Andes would also pill really easily, but it hasn't. It hasn't pilled very much at all. I haven't gleaned this yet at all, and there's a few little pills along the sleeves here, but nothing bad at all. I'm really happy with how it's wearing. So I will probably be using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes for future garments as well, especially because I have quite a bit of it in my stash that I had purchased a while ago when I was planning to make several sweaters for our family that, well, I just never ended up using it for that purpose. Some of my kids are pretty sensitive to wool, and so you know, this is quite an itchy wool, so it doesn't bother me, but I was going to make sweaters for my kids using that wool, and I did make one sweater for one of my children using that, but he has to wear a turtleneck underneath it because the wool is just too itchy for him otherwise. So anyway, I have a lot of Wool of the Andes in my stash, and I will probably be using it for future garments. Okay, on to works in progress. My first work in progress is in my Tanny Casey project bag, and it has this enamel pin from Twill and Print, which says just one more, and then it has a row counter on it, which has come in handy for this design. And in here is my Brioche Luscious shawl that I am knitting. This is a beautiful design by Andrea Mowry. And last week when I recorded a podcast, I was in the middle of ripping back section 2 of this shawl because I had made a mistake in it. So since then so here you can see this first section that is striped with cream and black is the first section. And then this section over here that is striped with a more of a gray color and black is section 2. I had messed up the way that I picked up the wrap stitches for section 2, and I had already completed it incorrectly, and so I had to go back and rip back the work that I had made on it. I was in the process of ripping it out and picking up stitches last week when I was recording a podcast. So anyway, I was able to go back all the way to section 1 and start over again. Anyway, I was able to do section 2 correctly this time. And then I've also completed section 3, which is this lighter speckled section, and it is done in seed stitch, which is just beautiful. I love the texture that seed stitch creates. So it's kind of bunched up on this cable right now, but you can kind of get an idea of how it's looking, and I think it's turning out really nicely. I'm really happy with it. I am using my own hand-dyed yarn for this project as well. The first 2 colors that I used are my undyed yarn. This is my Lamb's colorway. And these are all on my Pitter Patter base, which is a fingering weight, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And I striped that first section along with my solid black colorway called Night. And then for the second section, I had one mini skein of my Night colorway on my Twinkle Toes base, which is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% gold stellina. So I striped that in with my Silent colorway, which is this light gray that's speckled with black. And the black splits into different colors, lots of orange and little tiny bits of blue and even some red. Here's a big spot of red. They're pretty rare, the red spots, but there's a good spot of it. Anyway, I striped those two together for section 2. And then for section 3, I used this Insight colorway, which is just a bare yarn that's also speckled with black. So you get the same coloring in there. Oh, there's another good spot of red right in the middle there. that just happens when the black dye breaks into different colors. So it has these sporadic different colors that show up, which I really like that effect. So this is a shawl that I am knitting for a lady that I go to church with. And so I am just super excited to have this on the go. This is the 5th item from my Make 9 list. And I just finished the 3rd section. So the next section will be the first section of brioche. So that will be section 4. And yeah, I'm hoping to just continue working on this. It is seeming to work up pretty quickly, but of course, the more you go with shawls, the slower it gets because the rows get longer and longer. I'm using the recommended needle size, which are US 4 3.5 millimeter needles. All of my needles are ChiaoGoo red lace. I have an interchangeable set, so I use that for everything pretty much. So anyway, I am very happy with this project. I think it's going to be so pretty with just the black and white and gray together. I think it'll be a really neat piece that of course will just go with so much. So I'm really hoping that the lady that I give this to will enjoy it and get a lot of use out of it. My next work in progress is a new cast on. It is being held in this beautiful bag that is from Mary Ann of Rock Islander. She did a swap with me a while back and she made this bag for me. And I love it so much. And in here is my Stoneham poncho, but it's not going to be a poncho in the end if it works out how I want it to. I'm going to be adding sleeves to this design to make it into a sweater. And I have been loving this so much. It is working up. It's just so fun to knit on. And I've made a lot of progress. So here it is so far. I am really, really happy with how these colors are knitting up together. I just think this design is so stunning and I'm really happy with the color choices that I picked for this project. I just love these colors. So this is a DK weight yarn, so that helps to, have it work up so quickly. I'm using my own hand-dyed yarn for this project as well, Noble Character Crafts yarn. This is on my Josephine base, which is DK weight, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. The main color is the black, again, my solid Night colorway. And then the accent contrast colors are my Sweetness colorway, which is a bare or neutral base that's speckled with pink, purple, and brown. And again, the brown breaks into orange and blue, like the black does on the other colorway I was talking about. And I just really love speckled yarn in color work. I just think it's so much fun. As long as you have a good contrast between all your speckles and the other color that you're working with, I think it just works up so beautifully and just adds a neat, I just love the effect of it. So I'm really happy with that. And then the third color that I'm using is my Gaze colorway, which is just one of my favorites. I love it so much. It's just a nice tonal pinkish purple color. So there's not very much of that in here, but I just really love how that pops in this design. So I am I've got, let's see, I've got about 20 more rows of the color work before I hopefully be able to split into, split for the sleeves. So as I mentioned, this design is a poncho design and it's meant to not have any sleeves, but once I'm done with the color work, according to how the design looks, it looks like it will be kind of like this yoke, where the yoke should stop right when you're ready to separate for the sleeves. So I'm hoping that that will work out and I will be able to just put some stitches on to waste yarn and knit the body straight down, and then also knit the sleeves straight down pretty much. So hopefully it'll work out. I'm a little nervous about how it will work out, if it will work out, but I'm just taking a chance and trying it. So I'm really loving how it's working out so far, and I just can't stop working on it. I'm just so excited to continue working on it. For the needles, I am using, for the ribbing, there's just a few rows of ribbing here at the top. I don't know if you can see that very well in the dark yarn, but I think it was only about 4 rows of ribbing up at the top. And I used US size 4. I'm pretty sure I used US size 4, 3.5 millimeters for the needle, or for the ribbing. And then for the colorwork section, I'm using US 8, 5 millimeter needles. And then I haven't yet, but once I switch to the main body, I will go down to a US 6, 4 millimeter needle. The gauge for this project is 22 stitches to 4 inches. So yeah, I'm super happy with this one, this project as well. I am so excited about having this. It looks really small, doesn't it? But I have tried it on. It's on a small cable right now. And of course with superwash it should stretch. I hope it'll be okay. It looks really small right there. It doesn't even look like it'll go for my shoulders, but I did try it on a few rows back. I should put it on a longer cable again and try it on again, because I've done several increased rows since the last time I tried it on. So this is actually at the widest point that it will be. So I really do need to put it on a longer cable and just try it on to make sure it's going to work out okay. I hope it does. Okay. I thought I would just share with you all real quickly, since I did just put it on a longer cable, that it is fitting, thankfully. So I'm so thrilled with how this is looking. I'm so excited. Now I am thinking that I might need to continue to try it on quite frequently, because I bet with 20 more rows of the color work chart, maybe I'll want to split for the sleeves before the color work chart ends. So I don't know, we'll see how that goes, but I'm really, really happy that it's able to go over my shoulders and it seems to be a good fit. So I just love it so much. I'm so excited. Yay! And I always forget to show my floats, but here's the inside of it. You can see all of my floats, which looks pretty cool too, I think. My last work in progress is in this cute Japanese knot bag that my friend Tina made for me. I love it so much. And I am making a pair of coordinating mittens to go with my sparkling cider hat. And again, this is another project from my Make 9 list. So this is the first of the Minerva mittens, which is a beautiful design by Elizabeth of Solapalooza Knits. And I have loved this design ever since I first saw it when she posted it on her Instagram feed. And I'm so thrilled to be working this up. I love the cuff on here. I have never made a mitten with this kind of a beautiful lacy cuff before. And I love it so much. So pretty. And then the color work section, you can see here, has this beautiful geometric, kind of a floral look to it. And then here's the palm of the hand. And you can see I've put the thumb stitches onto waste yarn there. Try it on so you can kind of see how it fits. I love how the cuff goes down so far. I love that. So the fit is seeming to be really nice right now. I'm happy with it so far. I first cast on the cuff using a 2.53 millimeter needle, but that turned out a little too large, so I ripped it back and started over again with a US to 2.75 millimeter needle, and I love the fit of it now. I went up to a US size 4 3.5 millimeter needle for the main portion of the mitten, and this is worked at a gauge of 32 stitches to 4 inches. So it's working up really well. I really am happy with the fit and how it's coming along so far. Again, I'm using my own hand-dyed yarn for this project. So I'm using my Gentle Base again, which is 100% non-superwash fingering weight merino wool. And this is on my Good Sense colorway. And then I'm just using the leftovers that I had from my sparkling cider hat that again is on my Refreshes colorway for the contrast color. So you can kind of see here how they will go together when the mittens are done. So I like having my hats and mittens match. I think that's fun to have a set. So anyway, I'm really happy with this. Oh, it's so much fun to work on. I really am enjoying it so much. Isn't that beautiful? I just think that design is so stunning. So I'm really happy with this project as well. So with these 3 whips, this is my 7th project from my Make 9 list. So I only have 2 more projects on my Make 9 list, and at this point, you know, I just gotta finish. I've only got 2 left. So anyway, I'm still so excited, and I've even thought about making another Make 9 list after I finish this Make 9 list. If I just continue to enjoy it, I just have really enjoyed the focus that it has given me to, you know what projects I want to make next. And I'm not being stringent. If there is anything that comes up that I want to make, I'm not going to limit myself to not casting on something that's on my list. But it's just really been nice to, you know, as I'm finishing up a project, I can get the yarn ready for my next project. I just know what is coming up next, and it's just working out really well for me. So I'm really happy with that. Okay, the last thing I have to share with you all is a set of yarn from my Etsy shop. Every time I record an episode, I like to share a few different colorways from my Etsy shop that I think would work well together in a project. And here is my set for this week. This includes a new colorway that I'm very excited about. This deep green colorway is new. This is my Forest colorway. And I actually came up with this colorway accidentally. I had tried to make this colorway quite a while ago, and I couldn't get it right. It was turning out it was just too green, and I wanted it to be more of a forest type of color, more of an evergreen kind of color. And anyway, I was trying to over dye a skein that I had messed up, and I was trying to come up with a different color, but I came up with this color, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's the color I was trying to get before, and I got it. But I was able to figure out the formula in order to make it, and so I can repeat this colorway, and I'm so excited about it. I just absolutely love this color, and I thought it was so fitting that I can put it in my shop now that it is March, because of course with St. Patrick's Day coming up, I thought this colorway was quite fitting for that. So anyway, I'm very excited about this colorway. I just think it would be so beautiful in a sweater or lots of different projects. And I have paired it along with my Kindness colorway, which is a pretty new colorway. This is a natural base, and then it has lots of different colored speckles in it. Turquoise, bright pink, lots of green colors. And then the blue and the pink kind of mixed together to make kind of indigo purplish speckles as well. It's got a little bit of brownish colors in there as well every once in a while. It's just got lots of fun colors. And the last color that I have picked for this set is my Iron colorway. And this is just a nice tonal deep gray that goes, it is just such a good neutral color because it goes with so much. So I really thought that these 3 look nice together. And as always, all of my colorways are available on all 9 of my bases at all times in sweater quantities or whatever you would like. I have all of them available at all times. Please feel free to head on over to my Etsy shop if you would like to check out any of my colorways. I would really appreciate you doing that. That's all I have to share with you all this week. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this podcast, please feel free to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. I would appreciate that so much. I hope you all have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.